Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and I'm here with Glenn Cummings, who is the president of Big Financial Services. We're so glad you're joining us today. We want to kick off today's show with an important question for you. Are you looking at your taxes through the rearview mirror or through the windshield of your retirement? You're going to want to stay with us to find out what we mean when we're asking this important question, and most of all, what it means for you. Glenn, my friend, always a joy to be in the studio with you. How are you today?
You know, I have just one thing to say.
You ready?
Let's go! We're going to talk about taxes today. And gosh, you know, that analogy you just gave just really is impactful, right? The rear view, is it the windshield, the rear view?
Right.
One of those, right?
Yes.
I look at it as a cracked windshield. Okay, that's how I look at taxes. They're just gonna crash and destroy the windshield because guess what? They're gonna crash and destroy your retirement if you don't plan properly to reduce those taxes in the future on your retirement savings.
Well, one of the things that really sets you and the team of Big Financial Services apart is that you engage in strategic tax planning for your clients.
Yes.
And, you know, tax preparation, with that analogy, that's looking in the rearview mirror. It's looking at what happened last year and figuring out how you can save money on taxes for that year. But talk about what strategic tax planning actually is and what you do differently for folks.
Well, you know, I love to talk about taxes because that's such an important part of your retirement plan, how to avoid paying so much tax, right? So I had actually a quick story. I love to work with CPAs, right? And tax preparers. And actually, one of my clients is one, right? So she said, Glenn, why don't you come out to Las Vegas? And we have this convention every year. And it literally was about 500 to 600 CPAs and tax preparers. And one of their main things they said to everyone that was in the room is you need to figure out how to reduce your clients' taxes from qualified plans, moving them over to Roth plans or IRAs to Roths. Benefits of that are so substantial, right? Because if I can have an investment that I can take money out of it tax-free when I retire, it's a lot better off than having 30, 20, 30, 40% maybe down the road. We don't know what taxes are going to be in the future.
Right, it's going to be an unknown rate in the future.
It's an unknown rate, right? So if I have to take all this money out just to cover my taxes, that's a huge problem. So I go to this convention, and one of the main speakers was just talking about, you know, not doing what you're saying, not focusing on the client's tax returns for that year, but helping them plan for the future. When he was talking about that, half the room was walking around, grabbing food. They didn't care.
They weren't even paying attention.
They weren't even paying attention.
Wow.
That blew me away, okay? And a lot of things, too, that blow me away is there's not a lot of young, fresh CPAs and people that are kind of getting into that business that understand planning for future taxes. Right?
Yep.
Especially in retirement. They want to get paid. They want to go ahead and prepare your tax returns. Your taxes are done, and they're so busy during the year trying to get prepared for that tax planning period.
Yep.
They want to get it done, they want to get paid, they want to take a break and start up again the next year. So this is some of the conflicts I see in tax planning, as well as a lot of financial advisors out there don't ever talk about it.
And let's talk about why that is, because it's really the fault of the industry and how it's set up,
It really
right?
is. It really
I mean,
is.
I have talked with so many folks who work for the bigger corporate firms, financial advisors, who are literally told that they cannot engage in this kind of strategic tax planning with their clients, because at the end of the day, even though it might be in the best interest of the client to do something like Roth conversions, what does that mean for the advisor who's managing that pot of money?
Well, if you have a large amount of money sitting in your IRA or 401k, that's fully taxable on every distribution when you take it out. To get rid of that silent partner, which I call the IRS, you call it an IRA, I call it the IRS, that's our silent partner. And that percentage of your silent partner will grow over time, right?
Yep.
So how do we get rid of the silent partner? We're going to have to pull some money out of those IRAs, pay the tax on it now, put it into a Roth, and then as it grows tax deferred, and it creates tax-free income as long as you've owned that Roth IRA for a minimum of 5 years. Those are the current rules and regulations, right? But if you were to take money out of your IRAs today, you're going to pay some taxes, which means it reduces the overall balance of that IRA. And the less of a balance you have with some of these larger broker-dealers or companies out there that are financial services companies, they're not getting as much in commissions because they don't have as much money to invest for you, and they're not getting as much in fees.
Right, because it's based on how much money is in the account.
Yes, of course. So there's a little bit of a conflict of interest there. My main thing is the peace and the confidence that clients receive when they have their money in a Roth IRA and they know that they can take tax-free distributions is really a special thing, right? And then I always look at my IRAs as literally a partnership, like I said, with the IRS. So if I have, say, a business that I'm going to sell today, right? And to sell that business, it's going to be $1 million business, but I've got a partner that is a 30% shareholder, right? If I'm going to sell that business, it hurts to pay him off. It does, it does. But if I can pay him off and get rid of him, and my business can continue to grow, like our investments will continue to grow, I would rather get rid of that silent partner now than have my business grow to $2 million. Right. And now instead of $300,000 to get rid of this guy, it's $600,000 or $700,000. And then if it grows even more, I have a bigger tax problem. So we came up through our team, and it's something I know we've shared on some other episodes, and it really, really is blowing people away because many of you out there have literally no idea how big of a tax problem you can have in your retirement. So we created this calculator, and it has been a huge, huge success for us. And you out there that are just concerned about your IRAs, your 401ks, if you haven't done an assessment, right, just a simple assessment through our tax calculator, you're not taking advantage of this show, what it presents to you. So I know you want to share that with everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's a really special, very simple thing. It only takes a few minutes, and I'll be quiet and let you run the thing here, because all I do is talk, okay?
No, it's all good.
When we talk about taxes, I get so excited.
I know, we both do. And it's something that I think a lot of folks have just kind of resigned themselves to, taxes, that's just the way that it is. And, you talked about your IRA. It's really an IOU to the IRS, right?
Wow.
And that's such a powerful example to think about if you had that business and you have to buy out that shareholder. So here's what this means for you. As Glenn mentioned, there's a proprietary resource that previously was only available to existing clients of Big Financial Services. But again, we really wanted to present this to all of our television viewers, and you can use it completely free. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to visit this site, bigtaxbill.com, or you can also scan that QR code, and that will take you over to the landing page. And we're going to show you a couple screenshots of what you can expect when you go there. So the first thing you're going to see is this landing page, and it just asks for some very basic information. You're going to put in your name. You're going to put in how much money you have saved up in these tax-deferred accounts, your 401k, traditional IRAs, things of that nature. You'll put in your email address so that the report can be emailed to you, no strings attached. A couple things you can play around with down there. You want to see, you can adjust the slider to put different tax rates, the tax rate you're in now, the tax rate you think you might be in later in the future. You can also play around with the assumed growth rate, how much you think this tax-deferred money is going to grow. Now, once you click submit, boom, instantly side by side, you're going to see the difference between the government's tax plan for you if you do nothing. See there underneath that red, in this example, this person could potentially end up paying $1.6 million in taxes.
Wow.
Versus on the right-hand side, you're going to see how much less this person could pay in taxes if they were to enact some of these tax saving strategies that we talk about on the show. So you'll see that instantly, but then it gets even better, Glenn.
Okay.
Because folks are going to receive a detailed report emailed directly to your inbox within minutes.
Yep.
And this is just one page from that report, which breaks it down. You can see again in this example, this person had $500,000 saved up in tax deferred accounts. They were using a tax bracket of 25%, assuming growth rate of 8%. I don't remember this person's exact age. Obviously, that comes into play to determine the figures. But again, you can see the breakdown, again, the difference between how much someone could pay in taxes versus how much less they could pay. And I know that when you have been walking through this exercise with folks, or they have done it here on the TV show and then brought that report in and sat down to meet with you, folks their minds are just blown at the difference.
Yeah, and it's something where this is a secret, I believe, that the IRS has created these pre-tax plans to really get a lot more tax dollars off of us. Not only off of us, but off of my spouse, right? So if I have this big IRA, right, and I pass away, now she inherits this huge silent partner, which is the IRS. And then we talked about this on last shows, is that if we're married filing jointly, we have a lot more opportunities to earn more income and be in a lesser tax bracket. But now she's going to be widowed. And now she's going to have more problems with taxes and distributions. And then when she goes, my kids are required by law now, this is a current law, to liquidate those entire IRAs over a 10-year period, possibly at the highest tax rates, because most likely when I go, my daughters are going to be working in their later highest earning years. The IRS knows what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They know what they're doing. And they know they're giving us this little advantage of pre-taxing our money up front. But boy, we can really, truly get hammered with these taxes, not only for us, but for our family members. And if you're concerned about the IRS, if you just don't like the IRS, please do this tax calculator. Reach out to us. And like you said, there is absolutely no incentive for us. We're not going to drive you nuts. If you say, yes, I'd like a consultation, we'll follow up with you. If not, you get this free report. Please go online, get it today. It'll blow you away. And a lot of other advisors, a lot of other people are not talking about these tax problems. You need to talk about it. It's a huge, I call it a tax bomb in your retirement.
A ticking tax time bomb, right?
Ticking tax bomb.
Well, Glenn, thank you. I know we have more to get to on today's show, but this is a great opportunity for you to not only get connected and use this tax bill calculator, but once you get that report, we know you're going to want to reach out to Glenn and come in and sit down and put together a proactive tax plan for your future. You don't just have to settle for what the government's plan is for you. Allow Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services to be the architect of your tax plan for the future. You can do so by calling 888-503-7408, or you're welcome to scan that QR code. That will take you to a landing page, ask you a few short questions, and then a member of the team from Big Financial Services will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary consultation that way as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
How many of you love paying taxes? I don't love paying taxes. Do we believe that right now, with the way things are in the economy, the way things are with our national deficit going up, that taxes are going to go down, or the taxes possibly are going to go up? Do you know what the highest tax rates were from 1932 to 1982? They were close to 70%. I'm not saying we're going to get back there, folks, but we need to look at our retirement savings and realize that many of us are saving in 401ks, IRAs, tax-deferred investments that are going to create huge, massive tax problems for us in the future. If you'd like to reduce those taxes, please give my office a call. We'd love to sit down with you and share with you some great planning tools that could hopefully help you reduce your taxes in the future. Give my office a call today. Did you know Uncle Sam might be your partner in retirement? It's true. If you have a 401k, if you have an IRA, a pension, or other similar retirement accounts, they're all tax targets. But how much? To get an easy-to-use tax calculator and to find out your potential tax liability, scan the QR code or go to bigtaxbill.com.
Well, welcome back to the Big Money Show. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, here with the president of Big Financial Services, Glenn Cummings. And we have started off today's show. We're both very passionate about helping you pay less to the IRS. We don't want you to pay any more than you are legally required to pay in taxes. That's why we've been offering this tax bill calculator for folks to take advantage of. Yeah. You know, I want to go back to something you were saying when you were talking about how the government knows what they're doing, which is in their best interest. And I think about how many rules have changed in just the last few years alone. One being the required minimum distribution age.
Yes.
So of course it used to be age 70 and a half, then it was age 72. Currently it's age 73 with it going to be age 75 in the future. And I've heard people say, oh, well, that's good that they're delaying when you have to take this money, right? That's a good thing for us. No, what that's doing is allowing those accounts to grow even more so that when it's time to hit the RMD age, now the government's going to get even more of our hard-earned money.
Not only are they going to get more of our hard-earned money, if you actually sit down with a professional, many of you out there just think, oh, I'm just required to take this RMD. I'm not 73 years old yet. I'm good. Well, do you know what the percentage is starting of what you're supposed to take? Did you know, you may start at 3-4%, but then that percentage goes up every year?
Because your life expectancy is changing every year. Yeah.
Many people have no idea, right? So they're allowing our accounts to get bigger, which creates more of a tax burden.
Right.
And it's crazy because then what ends up happening is that your Social Security could possibly be taxed. Your Medicare could be taxed, right? So the people that plan properly, that actually do work with not only our firm, but CPAs or other people that may work with strategic future planning strategies, which is what we're talking about here. Many of those clients, when they come into my office and I say, okay, well, where's your money invested? Well, I've got a little bit left in my IRA, but I've moved everything over to a Roth. Wow, how long have you owned that? I've owned it for 5 years and I paid the taxes on it 5 years ago. And now this account has grown significantly, still tax deferred.
Right.
I don't have to take required minimum distributions, right? Once it's in a Roth. It's tax-free income to me and to my spouse. And there's also some tax-free benefits when it goes to my beneficiaries. So sit down with someone like ourselves. Use this tax calculator. Use what's available for you out there to learn about this. That's why we're on this show, educating people, because this is a very complicated subject that if your financial advisor is not talking with you about it, that's a problem.
It is a problem.
It's a problem. Sit down with us. Let's talk, okay? Here's another thing, too. So many times I have people that come in that have done a great job at becoming debt-free. So their goal is, hey, I want to retire at, say, 65, and I want to own my home. Or I don't want to have any credit card debt. I want to have everything paid off, and I want to have, money sitting in the bank or my investments, right?
Right.
And they'll come in, and I'll be like, well, golly, you've done great, but you've got a lot of money in this IRA. And guess what? You still got some debt. You're like, what? I don't have any debt. You do have a debt. It's called the IRS debt. And by the way, every dollar you pull out, or we mentioned this last show, every $100 you pull out. So I go to buy dinner with my wife. We sit down and, we spend $100, right? Not only am I tipping 20% to that person that's serving me, right? That goes to the, the server.
Right.
20 to 30% also goes to the IRS on every single dollar that I take out of that account. I don't like that.
Nope.
Do you like that?
I do not at all. And the other thing that we have to address is taxes get even more complicated once you're in retirement. Let's talk about the taxation of Social Security. This is another huge gotcha that a lot of people aren't aware of. So when Social Security was first created, it was never supposed to be taxed. That's what we were told, right? Things have changed, and now it could be that up to 85% of your Social Security benefit could be taxed. And what's really, irks my skin about this too, is that they take how much you're getting from Social Security to determine how much they're going to tax your Social Security.
Wow.
In what world does that even make any sense?
No, it not only does it not make sense, but a lot of people are unaware of these things until it's too late. Reality of it is it's never too late, in my opinion. It's never too late to build some strategies that can help you with these tax issues that you're going to face.
Yeah. Yep.
Period.
Right.
And none of us like paying the IRS, but that tax calculator before shows you can pay a lot less now.
Yep.
Right, at these lower tax rates, than keeping that darn IRA and keeping it growing and all the future taxes that you're going to incur.
Yes.
So it's very important to take advantage of the show, take advantage of us, right? I mean, if we're offering this for no charge, sit down and let's review this. Let's look at this. Let's just at least get the report, right?
Yep.
And it's online right now. It's available for you folks.
Yes.
So I know you want to bring it up one more time.
For sure. Well, again, that site to visit to do your own tax bill calculator is bigtaxbill.com. There it is for you on the bottom of the screen. You can scan that QR code to see what the numbers would look like for yourself. But Glenn, I think you did a really great job of saying it so well. If you're already working with another financial advisor and they are not having these kinds of conversations with you, it's time to get a second opinion. And Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services would love to be able to provide that for you. So if you know that you need help in this area and you want to go ahead and schedule that complimentary consultation, we invite you to pick up the phone, call the number on the bottom of your screen, 888-503-7408, or you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected for your free appointment that way as well. Don't go anywhere. We've got some more tax risk that you may not even be aware of. Stay with us. We want you to be prepared. We'll be back right after this.
Did you ever think that your own retirement would be shared with our government? It's true, your 401k, IRA, pension, or other similar retirement accounts are in partnership with good old Uncle Sam. Simply put, they want their tax dollars and you have them. With our latest tax calculator, you can plug in your own number while sitting at home. To find out what your future tax liability may be, simply scan the QR code or go to bigtaxbill.com. So you have a 401k with a former employer. Great, fantastic. You know, that means you've been able to accumulate some wealth, it's growing, but the problem is you don't have a lot of investment options that may be available to you, except for what's in that 401k. So what's the best option that we see in a lot of cases? For clients to simply roll that over. No taxes, they simply roll that over to another IRA if you have an IRA account. And once that money rolls over, you can look at other options that may be available that you're not even aware of. Sit down with a professional, someone that can help you look over that 401k and either stay in the current plan or look to roll that over to where you may have better options that may help improve your retirement in the future. Look at reducing those taxes, look at getting a great income plan. That's something our company loves to do for folks. We'd love to share them with you. Please give us a call today.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show. If you're just joining us, Glenn and I have been discussing several different tax risks today. And of course, we've been highlighting this free tax bill calculator. If you want to know what your potential tax bill might be in retirement, we encourage you to visit the site. Again, it's completely free. You will have this awesome report emailed to you that will show you your numbers side by side, the difference between the government's tax plan for you if you do nothing versus how much less you could pay in tax if you enact some of these tax saving strategies. Before the break, we also mentioned the importance of understanding how your Social Security is going to be taxed. But Glenn, I'm curious because obviously folks entering retirement have a lot of different types of money. They might have investment accounts, money in the bank, CDs, things of that nature. We have to talk about how the tax treatment of those accounts, if you will, what that impacts for them as well.
There's huge impacts, especially with bank accounts that are getting higher interest returns than what they were a few years ago, right? A lot of people have no idea that when their interest rates went from 1% up to 5%, right, that they're taxed on that money as ordinary income. So I've had clients that have come in, been devastated because now they're taxed on their Social Security because they made all this interest income. You know, when they were getting 1% in the banks and all of a sudden now they're getting 4 and 5.
Right.
That's 4 to 5 times the amount of interest earnings,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So if you get 5% on a CD or something in the bank and it's non-qualified money, non-IRA money, and you pay the taxes on it, you're really only making 2 or 3 in some cases. Look for tax deferred accounts, right, that are non-IRA accounts. They're called non-qualified annuities, right? You can go with a fixed annuity, non-qualified, close to the same interest rates as you would get on a CD, right?
Right.
You can go 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, some of them up to 7 and 10 years. Lock in a good fixed rate to know what you're going to get, but also defer those taxes. And as long as you still own that annuity, you can keep deferring those taxes. So that helps your money build better. And there's no required minimum distribution on a non-qualified tax deferred annuity. Are you folks familiar with that? If you're not, right, you should talk to us. Let's share those with you. Let's reduce those taxes. Also, brokerage accounts, long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains can also be avoided with some different types of annuities that could be available, right? Always look at the claims paying ability of the insurance company before you make a decision to work with them. But always look at the tax benefits that's available. That's just one area. Just one area.
And as you're talking, it's making me realize too that a lot of folks have no idea how you make a decision in one area of your financial life can and will affect all the others. That's why you have to look at things from that comprehensive, holistic point of view, because there's tax landmines, if you will, all throughout your financial life that a lot of folks are completely unaware of.
Yes, and that's why it's really important to plan, right? And not only do you get this tax calculator to show you these things, we're going to go ahead and put together a plan to help you address those future taxes. And give us a call. You know, it's not hard, folks, to grab your phone right now. You're sitting out there, you know, you probably got your feet up, you know, oh yeah, this guy, Glenn, oh, Kristen's great, you know, I like Glenn a little bit, you know. And you're sitting there, grab your phone, call us, and listen, we're getting a lot of calls, right? I mean, we got a lot of people that are signing into this stuff, right? Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. We're going to help you. We're going to share some great ideas with you.
Well, knowledge is the first step, and you can't fix what you don't know is a problem. And I think that is the biggest benefit of using this tax bill calculator is it's just very eye-opening. And I know folks, their jaws hit the floor when they see, but they had no idea that they were headed for that ticking tax time bomb. So you get to help them diffuse those bombs, right?
Let's diffuse it today. Okay, let's diffuse it.
Awesome. Well, Glenn, thank you so much. It's always a joy to be here with you. And just remind our viewers where you're located so that they know where they can come and meet with you.
So we're located in Tampa. We have a beautiful office, a bunch of oak trees all around. You know, we got a big screen like this behind us. We can share all these great ideas with you. Have a cup of coffee. Looking forward to meeting each and every one of you, making you a part of the family if you decide to work with us.
Wonderful. Glenn, thank you so much.
Thank
and to
you,
our viewers,
Kristen.
thank you for watching. Again, that number to call to schedule your complimentary meeting with Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services, 888-503-7408. We'll see you next time here on The Big Money Show.